President Zelensky, you don't need to suck up to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in order to retain the support of the United States of America. Really, you don't. Hi, I'm Alan Barry. This is another episode of Expert Dig. This is where we examine experts and we evaluate their public performance. In this episode, we take a dig at Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine, for his performance speaking to a joint session of Congress in the United States of America. American political leaders control most of the resources that Ukraine needs to maintain their military and to combat Russian aggression. Without American support, Ukraine would, in all likelihood, be lost to Russia. Consequently, Zelensky must retain U.S. aid financially and militarily. Washington controls that aid, so obviously he needs to woo President Biden and the United States Congress, as well as ultimately the American people. In his speech, I think Zelensky did a few things really well. One of his strongest points was when he said that Ukraine had already defeated Russia in the minds of the people of the world.
And it gives me good reason to share with you our first joint victory. We defeated Russia in the battle for minds of the world.
I think that's great. Experts should give credit where credit is due. Unity is fostered in part when experts remind their audiences what they've accomplished together. Zelensky did not take credit for winning the battle of ideas alone. He shared that credit with his American backers and other allies. I think it's nicely done. That said, I think there are a few things that Zelensky could have done better, which may be lessons for other experts. First, Zelensky played the fear card when I don't think he should have done so.
It is just a matter of time when they will strike against your other allies. If we do not stop them now, we must do it.
So paraphrasing, if you do not stop Russian aggression now in Ukraine, where no American lives are being lost, then the United States will be forced to confront Russia in the future in a NATO country where you will be forced to commit American forces. America, Zelensky contends, should act now because they have reason to fear the future. Fear, of course, is a powerful motivator, and it is used by experts a lot. But fear is negative, and it can and often does work against you. If Ukraine has taught American military strategists anything about Russia, it is that conventional Russian military is nothing for the United States to fear. The Russian military is, in a word, inept. And the Ukrainian military, to their credit, has revealed this Russian incompetence to the entire world. When Russian vehicles sat in idle convoys for weeks on the roads to Kyiv, I gotta believe that United States fighter pilots only wished they could be deployed against the Russian forces. The Russians were sitting ducks. They were fish in the proverbial barrel. There is nothing in the Russian conventional military for the Pentagon to fear at all. So, if America were to act out of fear, it would be to avoid nuclear, not conventional conflict. And if American politicians felt that avoiding nuclear conflict was their only worthy objective, then American strategy might be to end support for Ukraine altogether. Now, I don't think that'll happen, but it could be argued that for the sake of nuclear de-escalation, the United States should reduce or eliminate support for Ukraine completely. I think you could make the argument that Zelensky really doesn't want America to act based upon fear. Experts should only fan the flames of fear in their audience when they know unequivocally that that fear will play to the expert's advantage. In the case of Zelensky and Ukraine, well, I'm not convinced. Second, Experts should avoid predicting the future. Zelensky unnecessarily predicted the future in his remarks, and he may eventually regret it.
And next year will be a turning point. I know it. The point when Ukrainian courage and American resolve must guarantee the future of our common freedom.
So, what happens in 2023 if it is not a turning point? Experts should not predict the future if they don't absolutely need to. Predictions often do not age well. Experts should sound confident and optimistic, but you can do that without making predictions. And finally, great experts, they don't suck up to people. This awkward kiss at the end of the speech was, for many, a bit off-putting. Speaker Pelosi was acting like a starstruck teenager. It was kind of yuck. Look, Zelensky came into this meeting as one of the most popular political leaders in the world. Time magazine had just named him the Man of the Year for the planet. According to Axios and Reuters, Americans have huge confidence in President Zelensky. Biden is only milk toast in comparison, and the United States Congress, the body that Zelensky is addressing, garners very little confidence from the American public. And Putin, of course, is a complete pariah. Zelensky does not need to suck up to Nancy Pelosi or anybody else for that matter. When experts present to decision makers and budget holders, they should do so with strength. Mostly, Zelensky did just that. Be careful when you push fear. Don't predict the future if you don't need to, and certainly don't suck up. It feels weak. Thanks for joining me.